Hello everyone, my name is Mr. Bryce and I'm with Susquehanna Valley High School in Conklin, New York, and we're going over a practice test. And the emphasis of this is simultaneous equations. First of all, number one, consider the inequality y is greater than x plus 3. Circle all the points that lie in the solution set. This is testing two things. Number one, do you know which one x is and which one y is when we're talking about a point? And do you know the solution set means that it makes the statement true? So that's x and that's y. The first one is 7 greater than 2 plus 3. Is 7 greater than 5? Yes. The second one, remember that's x and that's y. Well, the first thing is a 1, a y. Is 1 greater than 0 plus 3? Is 1 greater than 3? No, it is not. So because 1 is not greater than 3, that's a no. Now let's take the third point. Remember that the first one, 8, is the x, but the y came first. So we just write the 5 is greater than 8 plus 3. Is 5 greater than 11? No. You can even put those no signs through it. So I better not circle that one because that was not an answer. Now 6, 6. Well, that's pretty easy because there's no way that you can confuse the points. Is 6 greater than 9? No, it isn't. So the only one that is correct is the first. However, that doesn't mean on the test you won't have more than one right answer. Okay, graph the inequality y is less than 1/3 x minus 3. You can do it two ways. You start at -3 and you plot a point. That's called the y-intercept. So we put it on the y-intercept. And then you do the slope. Rise is 1, run is 3. So you go up 1, 3 to the right. Up 1, 3 to the right. Up 1, 3 to the right. Now, it's going to be a dotted line because it's not equal to. So you only have to connect every other point. Now the shading. Again, two ways. You pick a point like 0, 0 and plug it in. Is 0 less than 1/3 of 0 minus 3? Is 0 less than -3? No, it isn't. Absolutely not. Having zero money is better than or greater than owing someone $3. Now let me pull up the calculator. I'll show you the second way. So you hit the y equals, but that's not an equation. It's an inequality. Okay, so you hit the left arrow until you're on top of that. Now, when you hit enter the first time, it'll give you a fat line to draw. When you hit enter the second time, that's greater than, alphabetic order, greater than, then less than. Go over and type it in. 1 divided by 3, x minus 3. Hit graph, and there you go. The only thing you don't know is whether it is going to be dotted or solid as far as the line is. Don't forget to write y is less than 1/3 x minus 3. Now it asks, what is one point in the solution set? So anywhere in the shaded region, I'm going to go with 2 for the x value. So that means I went over 2, and the y value, -6. Give me 1 point not in the solution set. Well, obviously 0, 0 didn't work. Anywhere that's not shaded. If you didn't understand, just rewind it. Now, on a lot of questions, I'm going to give you a piece of graph paper in case you want to use it. Determine if the point 25 is a solution to the system. So, you can graph it. The first line is very graphable. It already says y equals, but the second one, you have to subtract 2x from both sides, and you get y equals -2x plus 9. You can graph them the easy way, the quick way, the dirty way. Plug 5 in for y. 5 equals 4. I'm looking at the first equation. 2 in for x. 2 minus 3. 5 equals 8 minus 3. 5 equals 5. Yes, that's true. It's a solution to the first system. Now it's a solution to the second system. 2, what was x? 2 plus, what was y? 5 equals 9. 4 plus 5 equals 9. 9 equals 9. That's a yes. So determines the point solution of the system. Yes, because it is true for both. Now quickly, what if we wanted to graph it? Well, you start at -3 for the first equation. Start at -3 on the y-axis. On the y-axis, we start at -3. Then what is 4x as the slope? It's 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1, up 4 over 1. Y equals 4x minus 3. Then the second one, we already solved for it right there. We start at +9 and we go down to 1 to the right. Down to 1 to the right. There is the solution because that's where the lines cross. Write down the original one, 2x plus y equals 9. Now what is the solution? It is the point 2, 5. Ooh, okay. Same as that. Yes. Let's take a look at the next page. What's the slope of the line that passes through the point -1, 16 and 3, 8? Well, like we have step number 1, you write the points above and below each other. Step number 2, subtract them. -1 minus 3 is -4. 16 minus 8 is 8. Then we write down delta y over delta x. Which one is y? Which one is x? That is the x. That's the y for the point. So we put 8 over -4. You're done. It doesn't say in simplest form. If this was a multiple choice test, we can simplify that to be -2 or -2 over 1. Don't trust me? Look at your calculator. Mr. Cleary places a grid on front of his fish tank. He notices the fish moves from the coordinate 5, 2 to the coordinate -3, 12. What's the fish's rate of change? The only thing that we're asking you is, do you know that rate of change means the same thing as slope? So I take -3, 12, put down 5, 2, subtract them. I get -8 and 10. That's the x. That's the y. Yes, you do have to write down delta y over delta x equals 10 over -8. Or that's the same thing as -10 over 8. Or the same thing as -5 over 4. All three of those are correct. Draw a piecewise function. The big thing with a piecewise function is that they don't overlap because it is a function. So you can draw anything that looks like that. If you want to, you can draw something that looks like that. If you don't like that, you can go there. If you don't like that, you can go there. You just cannot have a vertical line because they overlap each other, okay? You can even have it like that. Any piecewise function. Next page. Solve the following system graphically. Now I'm forcing you here to solve for y. We need to have just y on the left-hand side. So you subtract x, we get y equals -x plus 5. That one already has y by itself. So let's graph that one first. We start at +1 because that's the y-intercept on the y-axis. And then we do the slope, which is rise 1, run 3. Rise 1, run 3. Rise 1, run 3. We'll be using our ruler on the test tomorrow. make sure that you put down y equals 1/3 x plus 1. This one, y equals -1 over 1x plus 5. Remember that there's a hidden invisible 1 right in front of that x. So we start at +5 on the y-axis, and we go down 1 to the left because it's -1 over 1. There is the solution right there, where the lines cross. Don't forget to label it with the original equation, and the point, or the solution set, is 3, 2. We go in the x direction when we're writing a point. 3, then we go in the y direction. 2. Solve the same system using substitution. This says everywhere you see a y, write 1/3 x plus 1. The first thing is not a y, it's an x. The second thing is not a y, it's a plus sign. Then we have a y, 1/3 x plus 1. Then we have an equal sign, and then we have a 5. We're not distributing because it's not touching the parenthesis. It says add them together. So remember, that's 1x. So 1 and 1/3 pizzas. 1 and 1/3 pizzas plus 1 is 5. Subtract 1 from both sides. We get 1 and 1/3 pizzas is $4. Okay, now, what is 1 and 1/3? 1 and 1/3 is 1.3 repeating. So we are going to divide both sides by 1 and 1/3 repeating. 1.3 repeating. When you do that on the calculator, four divided by 1.3 repeating. How many times? About that many times. And then it gives you the answer right there as 3. Remember, that is the x value. Now, we have to find the y value. Take an equation like that one. Y equals 1/3 of 3 plus 1. If you don't know what 1/3 of 3 is, type it into your calculator. 1 plus 1 is 2. We have our answer, 2 and 3. 3 is the x value. Oh, same answer. 2 is the y value. Same answer. We're doing good. Same, no, different equations. Good. Different equations. I'm going to erase this. Solve this system using elimination. Elimination means, do we have the x's and y's and equal signs lined up? Yes, we do. Do we have the same quantity of middle term? No, we don't. So that means that we have to multiply the first equation by whatever number's in the middle. That's a 1. We have to multiply the second equation by whatever number is in the middle, and that is a 5. Let me check to see what the sign is, if it's plus or minus. It's minus. So now when we do the multiplication, 4x minus 5y equals 12. Multiplying the second one, negative 10x plus 5y is 40. Now, if you wanted to multiply by negative 5, that is fine, but I just prefer to multiply it by 5 and then deal with the signs now. The signs are alternating, so I add. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so I don't have to write that down. But 4 plus negative 10, because I am adding, is negative 6x, and then I add those together, and I get 52. Divide 52 by 52 divided by negative 6, You might think it's a nasty number, but negative 8.6 repeating really is not that nasty. X equals negative 8.6 repeating. Pick an equation, plug it in for X, and out pops Y. I can tell you, okay, yes, that is a little bit nasty. The test isn't going to have that nasty of a number. Okay, we've already done substitution before. I want to get to this question. Consider two linear functions. Here's one line, there's the other line. What's the solution to the system? Use your tools. Type in the equation 1/2 x plus 4 and look at the table. Now I am going to set the table starting at 1, just like the other one is. Now we compare. 1, 4, 1, 4.5, not the same. 2, 5, 2, 5, they are the same. What is the solution? 2, 5. I looked at the table and found the same point. Mike and Ike are hamsters. The sum of their ages is 19. The positive difference of their ages is 9. Mike is older. Set up the equation, solve this, and then solve those equations. So remember, the first thing you do is circle or underline important words. Now, the sum of their ages is 19. Mike plus Ike equals 19. The difference, Mike is older, Mike minus Ike is 9. That's the positive difference. Mike is older, Mike's the bigger number, that's why we're doing it. I noticed that I already have them lined up, so I can add because the signs are alternating inside the rectangle. 2m equals 28. Mike is 14. Well, if I use that one right there, Mike is 14 plus Ike equals 19. Subtracting 14 from both sides, we know that Ike is 5. I found their ages. You'll have a couple seconds before class to ask me any questions or rewind it, listen to the parts that you don't understand. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.